Hello everyone, Gary Waterman here, former police officer and former acting sergeant. I'm going to do another further video in relation to this very serious matter where it continues to appear and evidence suggests that a Lloyds Bank employee has been producing forged fake bank documents and that members of Dorset Police and potentially members of government have been allowing it to happen. So it is very serious. Now I'm having to do this video to protect myself and also to try and protect the finances of the public. Okay, this video is going to show a document. Firstly, I would like to point out that Barclays, there is nothing to suggest at all that Barclays has done anything wrong or is involved in any fraud. I'd like to point that out first of all. This information that I'm about to give you has been given to Dorset Police. They have discontinued their investigation in relation to this, as well as appearing to be allowing an immunity for banks to produce false documents. All of this information has also been provided to the Serious Fraud Office. The Serious Fraud Office have stated that it is not their job to investigate this, even though this appears to be serious fraud. They did emphasise, however, or stress even in their response, that this does not mean that there is not a crime to answer. Now remember, I've already got an email from the Professional Standards Department of Dorset Police saying that fraud has been identified by the fraud triage team. However, the fraud triage team have refused and continue to refuse to explain what that meant. Okay, and whether they had actually even identified or not identified fraud. Very strange indeed. This information supports the fact, or the suspicion, that there is forged bank documents. So I'm going to explain why. So this, I believe, is an authentic bank statement. You can tell that it is because, it certainly looks like it is, because everything is uniformed, everything is consistent, everything is in line. It appears to have been produced by the bank's software, automatically generated software. The other account statements or turn statements are the bank documents, which also had a table of figures and dates, was completely different. As you see, look at my other video and you'll see, and that they are Lloyds Bank documents. Okay, or they've got a Lloyds Bank logo on them, and everything suggests, all of the evidence suggests a Lloyds Bank employee produced those documents. Okay, so this is the first page of this statement, but significantly, and you know I like that word, this transaction I'm about to show you is very important. Now, bearing in mind, Dorset Police are aware of this, the Serious Fraud Office are aware of this, the Independent Office of Police for Police Conduct have been sent information in relation to this, and they are insistent that Dorset Police deals with this investigation, which they have now finalised, okay, and are taking no further action. This is despite me showing that there is a significant concern that there is a conflict of interest in relation to Dorset Police being involved with this, as certain information came to light, and dealing with this investigation. They should not have been dealing with it. Anyway, this transaction, okay, as you can see, it's £37,500. Sorry, it's a bit blurry and shaky. That came out from our account, so this relates to one of our company accounts, which I believe is authentic, on the 24th of July 2020. Now, this account was being used for the collection of service charge contributions. So everybody within the block should be paying a certain amount into this account. Now, this is very important. If I can focus it, you can see the reference for that transaction is FH Dist of Funds. Now, I believe that stands for Freehold Distribution of Funds. And what that means is when somebody is a leaseholder for a flat in a block of flats, they can then purchase into the share of the freehold, and they pay a sum of money to the freehold company to buy into the share of the freehold. Okay, and in our case, that money was then distributed to the original shareholders. So this amount appears to relate to someone purchasing into the share of the freehold. I know I was distributed a certain amount from this transaction. Okay, so I received an amount of money from this payment, and I am aware from emails as part of my inquiries, that other people also received payments from this transaction. Okay, so we know it was distributed from somewhere. However, supposedly I was led to believe, whilst I was a director, I had all of the accounts. Even the management company I was led to believe was managing all of the accounts, so they led me to believe that. So did the directors in my company, and the shareholders said nothing else, so I presumed they managed the company. They all stated that these were the only accounts, okay, that I had been given that were even there and being managed in relation to the building. But none of the accounts showed the distribution of these funds. None of them. So where were the funds distributed from? Okay, the only explanation, if all of that information is correct, is that there is another undisclosed account, or that there are forged and fake bank documents being used in relation to this transaction and where those distributions were made. Okay, now the previous acting chairman for my company, who resigned when I wanted to look at the accounts, okay, did not provide any explanation for this discrepancy for months and months and months. The management company did not provide any suitable explanation at all in relation to the discrepancy in relation regarding this transaction, okay? And they resigned very shortly afterwards, after I queried this transaction. And as I've already said in another video, 2 other directors resigned shortly afterwards, okay? Dorset Police are aware of all of this. Now, my inquiries have led me to have evidence that an explanation later provided months down the line by the acting chairman in relation to this is false. Okay, I've documented evidence that suggests his explanation of this discrepancy is false. Now, why have I been able to identify that and actually do some make headways in this investigation? You have clearly, I would suggest, and I think anyone that sees them, forged bank documents, okay, the Lloyds Bank documents, not these ones, these are authentic. You have significant correspondence with accountants and the bank itself that all suggest those documents are fake, forged. And then you have this transaction that also suggests there is a forged account. But it's all been discontinued. And you appear to have the immunity being given by Dorset Police and members of the government, potentially, for bank employees to produce fake documents. Hopefully that will make sense. Hopefully I've covered everything. There's a lot to take in, a lot for me to remember to say. There'll be more videos to follow shortly. Thank you for listening. God bless you all and take care. Bye bye.